Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my preview slash first impressions slash first look at raw footage. It's always tricky to title these videos properly, but I have played the game for a relatively significant amount of time, so it's not really a first impressions video, but it's not a review either. It's somewhere between the two, yes? So, what is raw footage? Well, to put it bluntly and as simply as possible, raw footage is a sort of Slenderman-esque or Slenderman-type game where you go into a forest or a particular area, you run around collecting stuff, and this either helps you fend off the monster or, works towards you completing your objective, and then you leave the map, and that's about it. Provided you don't get killed in between all the things happening. And that's pretty much it. So it's that kind of horror game. However, it does something rather interesting to the Slender formula. And I should provide the sort of a disclaimer at the start, right here and now. And that is that I did receive this product for free, and the developer or developers of the game were kind enough to provide me with a key for this, so highly appreciated. However, I shall do my best to make sure that that does not affect my opinion of the game whatsoever. So, you have 3 maps. You unlock them by, beating this map, and then you unlock this one, then you beat that one, then you unlock this one. They're kind of similar in that they're both, all 3 of them are kind of forests. Monsters do variate and stuff like that, but it's essentially the formula does not change throughout the maps. So, how does it change the Slender formula, and what does it do to it? Well, you don't go around collecting stuff that is useful for the end of or that is useful for you to beat the map directly, or to defeat the monster or whatever. Instead, you go around collecting things that will help you fend the monster off. Your purpose in the game is to record said monster with this camera. And you click tab to check how much raw footage you need to actually finish the map. And to actually, leave and to beat the game. So, let's begin. We're gonna see the creature, and then I'll talk about it, but what I will mention right off the bat is, for the life of me, I cannot recommend this game at its current stage. I believe the price last time I checked was €8. I'll check the price. Obviously, there will be a link in the description down below, as well as a brief summary of the game, so you can decide whether you want to check it out on Steam, or you want to, learn more about it through there or whatever. But essentially, for the life of me, I cannot recommend this game unless your sole intention is to grab a couple of friends and play with them for like one evening, and then that's about it. So, like I said, the good thing is the fact that the game tweaks with this Slender formula and makes you sort of, well, not makes you, but, well, yes, but it's sort of, what I mean is, it forces you to interact with the monster. It forces you to record it, and there's also several mechanics that allow you to draw the monster towards you, because you don't necessarily want to avoid it at all times, right? You want to actually have the monster be around you, but not murder you. So it's a good formula. You're not exclusively running away from it all the time, you're just sort of running away in circles from it. To all intents and purposes, you want to interact with the monster, and it forces you to do that, and speaking of which, there he is. And, as you will notice, if you record him, he tends to get a little bit, upset at you, right? He doesn't exactly like it when you record him, so he will seek vengeance and try to rip your heart out from your body and feed it to you, essentially. Yeah, to be as grotesque and as brutal as possible. At any rate, you do have various pieces of equipment too. You will find a gun, a bat, some medkits, and that's about it. I believe those are the 4. You will find batteries as well, I suppose. as you sort of go throughout the map. And here we go. We've found the gun. First of all, well, we haven't found it. It's always in the same spot, and that's possibly like one of my biggest issues with the game, other than a couple of other ones which I shall discuss. Let's talk about another sort of positive thing. The graphics. The graphics are okay. They're quite serviceable, I believe, and I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with them. It's not the world's most gorgeous-looking game, but for a small indie horror game, it's really nothing too dreadful or appalling. But, it is sufficiently dark to make it creepy. The monster is creepy at a distance, because you can only see its shining eyes, and that is sort of scary, and yeah, that's fair enough. But the monster's not scary enough, visually or in any way, shape or form, after the first 15 to 20 minutes. So here's the problem with this formula, and again, I like it, I like the idea, execution, I think you need way too much footage of the monster, because I clearly recorded him, and I need to do that like 7 or 8, well, actually more like 20 more times probably, or something like that, in order to have that make any meaningful progression towards the game. What's another really cool bit here is the fact that there is a day and night cycle, or at the very least, there is a slightly darker and slightly lighter night cycle, essentially. The forest is pretty much always dark, but it does get decently lit during a certain period of time, and then gets very, very dark during another. Which, again, is a very good idea for this sort of formula of game. Creatively, lots of great ideas, in my modest opinion. However, like I said, the monster looks something like a Deathclaw from Fallout New Vegas. Not Fallout 4, from Fallout New Vegas. Now, Deathclaws in Fallout New Vegas are not scary because of their appearance, they're scary because they can hit you once or twice and rip your head off. Now, sure enough, this monster can pretty much do the same, and it is rather dangerous, but it's not horror game dangerous. And it's not horror game scary. I mean, it's horror game dangerous, I suppose, but it's not horror game scary. And that really lets the game down quite a bit. You will find it creepy, again, like I said, for the first X amount of minutes. Usually 15 to 20 in my experience, and I have a couple of friends play this game too to give it a as fair a shot as I can. But yeah, like after 15 minutes, it's no longer scary due to the amount of forced interactions you have with it. And you will also notice that the monster has, or this monster in particular has, like, 2 gameplay mechanics to it. You whistle, it gets close to you. You record it, it gets pissed off and either runs towards you or runs away. That's about it, right? Occasionally it will jump into the heavens and disappear, which is useful because the map is honestly not that large. Because, I mean, you've practically seen, like, the vast majority of the map at this point. We found 4 out of 5 bodies. You've practically seen this map. Now, fair enough, there are 2 other maps, and there are more creatures, but they're basically revolving around the same thing, and none of them are exactly scary enough, really, for something like this. See, Slender Man may have been a repetitive game, and not one I enjoyed, because you just run around, collect stuff, and leave the map, or you get captured, but Slender Man was scary. Right, the lore and the mythos behind him was scary, and he, as a monster, was sufficiently frightening. Here, I just subjectively don't have that feeling. Also, invisible walls. There's an invisible wall back there, a little bit annoying, absolutely no invisible wall here, and an invisible wall there. They get in the way a little bit. But, no, this is some minor complaint, but I just sort of came across one, so I wanted to point that out too. What about the atmosphere, right? Because that's one of the, by far, the most important things in a game, isn't it? And again, it lasts very briefly. Sure, the map getting darker in the nighttime and everything, or the... Well, I suppose it is a sort of day and night cycle, even though it is always more or less dark. It creates this atmosphere decently enough, okay? It does. However, after, like, 10 minutes, you sort of lose sense of this, because all of a sudden you're whistling for the creature to get to you, and you're chasing it rather than it chasing you, and when it starts chasing you, you either shoot it in the face or run away while recording it. There's just simply not enough here for me to recommend it and go like, you know what, yeah, this is a great horror game. I will be completely fair, it's a very cheap game. You know, yes it is. It's a very cheap game, it's very affordable, it's very simple. However, I'm afraid that nowadays that simply isn't enough. Because you have phenomenal games that are stupidly cheap. You have phenomenal games that are free, right? So price is no longer a bargaining chip, or at least not as much as it used to be, you know, several years ago. So I for the life of me, I cannot recommend it. Also, and this also is a problem when it comes to building up either atmosphere or sensation of creepy or horror or whatever. I just ran through the entirety of the map. I didn't get stopped by the monster, and, you know, nothing really happened. So that really is a bit of an issue, and I just, for the life of me, like I said, I cannot recommend this game. Sorry, and I highly appreciate the developer gave me a key and wanted me to test it out, but this simply, you know, I wish I could be more forgiving to the game, and wish I could be more, you know, I don't know, how do I put this, like, positive towards it, I suppose, but in the current stage of the game, where I can just jump around the map like this, looking for the monster, recording it for a few minutes, and then, you know, leaving the game, leaving the map is not worth it, in my opinion. Because it's not fun, right? Again, first 10 to 15 minutes, pretty damn good. After that, it's just not entertaining. You're chasing the monster, and it takes so much raw footage to finish the map. It does make it difficult, but it's not like the kind of difficulty that you have fun completing, or at least, again, me, not personally. I personally didn't find it enjoyable. My apologies, I know it's a stupidly brief video, but that's pretty much everything that there is to show about the game. As a sort of first impressions and a first look take to it. That's the gun. I'll even show you how that fires, even that's not anything. You don't have a lot of ammo for it. You sort of expect this to be sort of like, I don't know, impactful, the fact that you're using ammunition, but nah. Oh, look at that, we found another dead body. Well, we didn't exactly find it, but still. And there you go, you've seen practically the entirety of the map now. There you go, a little bit more ammo, and there you go. Ah, there he is. There's the monster. Like I said, not the creepiest thing in the world. And then he does that. Obviously he does that only when you shoot him. If I didn't shoot him, he would grab me and either hurt me terribly or kill me, but, you know. Credit where credit is due, it is faster than the player in all situations, so that helps, but, you know, it's just, I can't recommend it at this stage. Good ideas, though. Creatively speaking, good ideas. I do recognise that. There are good ideas here to the Slender formula, but I think the problem is that the Slender formula sort of went out of fashion a little bit too, and that people are now looking elsewhere for a sort of brief and exciting horror game experience like that, so I think that influences it a little bit too, but yeah, it's not god-awful, you know, there is stuff to do, there is some entertainment to be had. if nothing else, then in the difficulty, because it's not easy to collect all the raw footage you needed. I tried and I failed a couple of times, but I just don't find it enjoyable. That's pretty much it for me for this video. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Like, subscribe down below if you enjoyed it, and want to stay tuned with the rest of the series that we produce on the channel. There is really not much else to say. If you have any questions about the game, feel free to ask me down in the comments below, of course. But yeah, that's about it. I know, one of the briefest videos I've done on a first impressions thing like this, but there isn't really that much to discuss. You either enjoy it or you don't, and it's fairly simple and straightforward. So there we go. That's about it. I should have recorded it when I was doing that, shouldn't I? See, that would have been helpful in my overall goal. But at any rate, that's about it for now. Have fun, take care, and bye bye.